Listen carefully. The most dangerous conversation you'll ever have is not with the world, not with your boss, not even with your family. It's the one you're having with yourself right now. That quiet voice in your head has already decided whether you rise or whether you stay stuck. And here's the truth. If you keep talking to yourself the same way, your life will keep looking the same way. But for the next 3 days, you're going to change that voice. You're going to speak with power, with conviction, with certainty, because when you change how you talk to yourself, you change your brain. When you change your brain, you change your energy. And when you change your energy, you change your entire life. This is not motivation. This is science. This is the blueprint to reprogram your subconscious mind and build the wealth, success, and confidence you've been waiting for. So pay close attention, because the next 3 days are not ordinary days. They are the beginning of your new reality. Every morning when you open your eyes, something happens before you even get out of bed. Your mind starts talking. That inner voice begins whispering or sometimes shouting about who you are, what's possible, and what's not. And here's the truth. Most people never realize that voice is not neutral. It's not background noise. It's the architect of your entire life. Think about it. The words you speak to yourself are not just thoughts. They're commands. Your brain treats them like instructions, and your body obeys without question. If you wake up and tell yourself, "I'm tired. I can't handle this day," you've just programmed your body to move through life drained and defeated. But if you wake up and tell yourself, "I've got energy, I can handle anything," your brain fires new signals. Your body responds with strength, and your entire day changes. This isn't wishful thinking. This is neuroscience. Every thought you repeat wires together neurons in your brain. Every word you speak becomes a groove in your subconscious mind. Napoleon Hill called this autosuggestion the deliberate act of feeding your mind with thoughts that serve your purpose, instead of thoughts that destroy it. But here's the problem. Most people never take control of this inner dialogue. They live on autopilot. They recycle yesterday's doubts into today's reality. They say things like, "I never have enough money. I'm not confident enough. I'll probably fail again." And because the brain doesn't know the difference between a thought and a real event, it accepts those statements as truth.
The law is simple. Imagination creates reality. What you imagine and persist in will harden into fact. You are the operant power, and no one can take this from you. Now, the promise is equally certain. There will come a moment in your life when you will awaken to your true identity, discovering that you are God. This awakening is not something you earn, but a gift, a promise fulfilled by grace. Until that day, you are to use the law consciously. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Think not of the wish, but from it. Persist in that assumption, no matter what appears. The world will conform to your imagination, for it is only a reflection of your inner state. The promise assures you that your journey will end in love, in unity, and in divine awareness. But until then, use the law. Test it. Imagine wisely, for as you sow, so shall you reap. And remember, imagination is the only reality.
There's a law in physics that basically says that when you have energy that is vibrating at a particular frequency, within 17 seconds, other energy like that will be attracted to it. So if I'm having a positive thought or a negative thought, then what happens is that energy is attracted to it. I have other thoughts that are like that thought. So if you do that 17 seconds, for 68 seconds, then momentum begins to occur. So let's say that I'm normally, all of our emotions have a frequency to it. So if I'm in despair or anger or worry, all of those are lower, denser frequencies. You get into things like contentment, happiness, joy, love. Those are higher, faster frequencies. So let's say that I normally live in contentment. And that's my set point, because that's where I live. I think about that all the time. That's what my makeup is, that sort of thing. So I'm driving down the highway. All of a sudden, a car cuts me off, and I get angry. So now I'm in the lower, denser frequencies. And so then I go back to the office, and I'm telling all my colleagues, here's what happened. This knucklehead cut me off. Go home, tell my wife that. What am I doing? I'm vibrating angry energy. So I go to the supermarket, and there is somebody in line. I have 3 items, and I'm getting in line, and somebody ahead of me has 38 items. And the guy that's running the cash register, it's his first day, and he's not doing very well. He's very slow. Is that a coincidence? No, it's something for me to get angry about. So I'm attracting into my world whatever it is that I'm vibrating. So where my thoughts are, that's what's creating my reality.
The Earth is an imaginary playground. It's a 3-dimensional world. It's real, but yet it's fake, if you understand what I'm saying. It's a real world, but it's fake, because everything on the outside is a projection of your consciousness and the way that you feel and think about yourself. And we pick up each other's frequency band, vibration. We could be here thinking about an airplane crashing, and if enough people began to think that thought, that airplane would begin to crash. Does it make the airplane real? No. But it does happen, because it's an imaginary world. The world you live in is a fake world. You never left spirit. You're just dreaming that you have. All this is a dream. You're dreaming the dream of life. It's real, but yet it's fake. The real world is the spirit world. And you and I are the ghosts of the spirits. We are but the shadow on the wall of a cave.
What if reality doesn't fully exist until you notice it? In quantum physics, this is called the observer effect. The double slit experiment shows that particles live in a haze of quantum possibilities until they're observed and measured with certain devices, and in that act of observation, they collapse into a definite outcome. Now here's where things get interesting. Your brain itself is a measuring device. Every photon of light your eyes receive, every sound wave your ears detect, every sensation on your skin. These are measurements of the universe, but unlike a camera or a machine, your brain doesn't just record data. It interprets it, gives it meaning, and transforms it into lived experience. That means the final collapse of uncertainty into reality happens inside of you, not outside. Reality, in other words, is shaped by the very act of being observed. This gives you enormous power, because the same brain that registers the present can also simulate the future through imagination. Neuroscience shows that when you vividly imagine something, your brain activates many of the same neural circuits as if you were actually experiencing it, which means imagination is not a passive dream. It's a rehearsal of possibilities, a way of holding potential realities in superposition until your focus, your actions, and your persistence collapse them into existence. The principle is simple but profound. What you consistently observe within yourself sets the stage for what you eventually experience outside yourself. If your mind is full of doubt, fear, or limitation, those are the versions of reality you collapse into. But if you train your focus on vision, opportunity, and growth, then over time, those are the probabilities that become your lived reality. So the question is, what possibilities are you holding in your imagination right now? And which ones are you ready to collapse into being? Because your attention isn't just noticing reality, it's shaping it.
Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm about to share with you is not philosophy, it is physics. Not theory, but tested truth. Not suggestion, but supreme law. I speak of the most powerful force accessible to humankind, the principle of embodied faith. You beg the universe for proof before you move, but the universe only responds to motion. Faith is not a feeling, it is a posture, a walk, a way of breathing. To receive the miracle, you must first become the miracle. Act as if everything works out, and watch reality rush to agree with your demonstration. The masses wait for conditions to change before they act. The masters act as if conditions have already changed, and through this alchemy they command reality itself. There is no middle ground. You either direct life or life directs you. The choice must be made each morning before your feet touch the floor. Your doubt disguises itself as prudence. Your hesitation masquerades as wisdom. I tell you plainly, both are cowardice dressed in respectable clothing. The universe honors only those who honor themselves first through decisive action, not cautious contemplation. This principle cannot be negotiated with. It cannot be partially applied. Either you live entirely as if your success is guaranteed, or you admit through your actions that you prefer the comfort of excuses to the exhilaration of achievement. There is no neutral position. The physics of emotional gravity. Your emotions are magnets. Fear attracts failure. Faith attracts fortune. But faith is not wishful thinking. It is muscular certainty expressed through action. You don't wait for the bridge to appear. You step onto the invisible path and trust it will solidify beneath your feet. This is not recklessness. It is the supreme intelligence of aligned action. The universe responds not to what you say you believe, but to what your actions prove you believe. Your feet reveal your faith far more accurately than your lips. Where you stand, where you walk, where you run. These are your true prayers, and they are always answered. Gravity pulls objects toward Earth without debate or discussion. Similarly, your dominant emotional state pulls circumstances into your life with exact precision. It is neither good nor bad, it is law. Like gravity, it requires no permission and makes no apologies. It simply executes. You cannot think your way to wealth, health, or harmony.
First thing we need to do is combine polar and non-polar attention. This is crucial, so pay close attention. There are 3 main steps to using it, and if you follow it, all the energy you devote to that negative attention will dissipate, leaving you more energy to feed the positive version of reality you want to create. Let's talk about how this works. The first step is acceptance. When we are in a situation that feels like an abyss, that we are at rock bottom, we need to accept that this has happened. When we accept something, we can't be in resistance. You can't be in resistance and acceptance at the same time. Acceptance is the antidote to resistance. So please, try to understand this. We are not accumulating energy. The only energy being used is to redirect, to get out of the way. Your goals really want to manifest. You're just in the way. You just need to get out of the way for them to come into existence. We start with total acceptance of the current situation, whatever problems are in your life right now, whatever you feel stuck in, or whatever your worst nightmare is. Imagine that this has happened. You're totally on board with it happening, and you see how life goes on despite it happening. You're no longer worried about your worst nightmare. You're no longer haunted by it. This is absolutely fundamental because most people think, if I accept the worst case scenario, won't I be attracting it into my life? No, you won't. On the contrary, if you accept the worst case scenario, you will no longer be feeding it with the energy of your resistance. If you continue to resist it, you will continue to feed it, which makes it more likely to happen. But if you just accept it and get out of the way, that's where neutral attention comes in. Acceptance is neutral attention. To make a change in any area of our lives, we have to start with acceptance. Total, complete, integral acceptance of this exact moment. We can't change the present moment, no matter how hard we try, because the present is constantly changing. When you try to grasp it, it has already become the past. There's no changing this present moment. What you can do, what is in your power, is to choose what you would like in the next moment. We tend to fool ourselves into believing that if something happens, we've failed. We get attached. We identify with the things we do. Come up with the worst case scenario and accept it completely. That way, you reduce all the importance. The second step is to realize how this setback or unfavorable event could potentially be a blessing in disguise. Any event that happens is a neutral event. We make it positive, negative, or neutral by the nature of our attention.
What if I told you that the harder you try to manifest your desires, the further they slip from your grasp? What if the very act of trying is the reason your dreams remain out of reach? You see, the universe doesn't respond to your effort. It responds to your state of being. And here's the paradox. To get what you want, you must stop chasing it. The universe works like a reflection. It doesn't hear your words or your pleas. It feels your energy. When you try, when you push, you're signaling one thing: I don't have it. And so the universe echoes that back. More waiting, more longing, more lack. But when you shift your state of being, when you act, feel, and live as though what you desire is already yours, the universe adjusts. It matches you, because it always mirrors the energy you embody. Think about this. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to effortlessly attract success, love, or abundance? It's not luck. They've mastered the art of being. They don't wait to feel abundant. They radiate abundance. They don't search for love. They are love. So here's the secret. Stop grasping at what you want. Let go of the need to control and simply align with it. When you embrace gratitude for what you already have, when you feel as though your desires are already fulfilled, the universe responds. Not because you forced it, but because you finally became it. The only thing standing between you and your desires isn't the universe. It's you. Stop trying. Start being. That's the only way to truly manifest.
What if I told you that the wealth you desire could materialize in 4 days, or even less? Not through labor, not through luck, but through a law as certain as gravity. You see, the world has sold you a lie that money is earned by the sweat of your brow. But I say to you, it is felt into existence. Think of the most profound moments of your life. The birth of a child, the thrill of love, the peace of a sunset. None of these were worked for. They arrived because you allowed yourself to feel them. Wealth is no different. It is not a transaction. It is a transmutation of energy. And you are the alchemist. Why is it that so many who claim to seek abundance remain trapped in lack? Because they wait for it. They hope for it. They work for it. But the universe does not respond to effort.
And this is what nobody will tell you. You are living in a cross-section of reality. The fourth dimension, where past, present, and future coexist, is accessible right now through a specific technique that Goddard documented. But there is a reason why this information is not in university curricula. You see, when you understand that, you can literally select which future to experience. Not attract, not manifest, but select from options that already exist. You become ungovernable. Why do you think that billions operate in automatic mode, reacting to circumstances and creating chaotic realities without realizing it? The mechanism is brutally simple. Between waking and sleeping, your consciousness can navigate dimensionally. You enter the scene of your chosen future, participate in it, and feel it as an accomplished reality. The mirror universe has no choice but to reorganize everything to correspond. While the masses continue to be trapped in three-dimensional cause and effect, there exists a group using this knowledge right now to operate on another level of reality. The difference? They have discovered that they are the projector, not the screen.
Can you teach your body emotionally what your future is going to feel like before it's made manifest? And don't get up until you feel that way. Now, practice that for a few days, and then see if you can stay in that state and watch all of a sudden all those weird doors start opening for you. Synchronicities, whatever they are. Number two, take up time at the end of your day, before you lay down, and give thanks for your life, and just feel gratitude. And really teach your body what it feels like. The emotional signature of gratitude. And gratitude means you're getting something. If I give you something that's of value, you would say thank you because you would feel it, right? So when you're receiving, you're giving thanks. So gratitude is the ultimate state of receiving. So then people only accept, believe, and surrender to the thoughts equal to their emotional state. So if you're in a state of gratitude, every thought's going to make it right down into your body. If you're saying, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, and your body's programmed in negativity, it's saying, no, you're not, no, you're not, no, you're not, that thought's going to stop right here. So as you elevate your state, there are about 1,200 different chemical reactions that go on in the body to begin to restore and repair the body in a state of gratitude. And so we've done the research to prove that. 10 minutes, and just feel it with all of your heart. That's it. Third thing, and very important, take time, whenever it is, sit down and close your eyes and begin to just open your awareness to the space around you and just sense it and pay attention to it and become more aware of it. The act of opening your awareness begins to reduce the stress hormones and creates more coherent brainwave states. I'm doing it right now. It's just a practice.